Because you know there's a handful of people actually run everything. That's true. It's provable. Not conspiracy.
It's all about control. To them we just cattle, numbers, battling each other while they creeping in the shadows, scheming, plotting, clocking your every move, locked in your mind, brainwashed until it's rocking. Got the population operating as they want them, symbolically mocking them, thinking nothing can stop them. So open your eyes to the lies of the evil, the poison in the minds and the lives of your people. And every time they lead you down a line to deceive you, and by then it's always too late to see through the veil that they hide behind, cause your third eye is blind. Better take a stand, we running out of time. Ain't nobody coming to save us, fuck what you had in mind. Arm yourself with the truth and jump behind the battle line. Can we turn it around? Yeah, it's possible. Divided we'll all fall, but united we're unstoppable. This is for the world, this is for the masses, attached to the strings being pulled by puppet masters. This is for the youth, searching for the proof, keep on looking for the clues, I'll provide you with some truth. This is for the ones waking up from the spell, beginning to discover themselves. Yeah, this is for the youth, searching for the truth, keep on looking for the clues, I'll provide you with some proof. This is for the world. Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of A Hitchhiker's Guide to Truth. I'm your host, James Cordner. Today is June 17th of 2023, and we have an exciting show tonight. But like I do always, let's just talk about the housekeeping real quick, and we'll just go over this. So we're streaming live on the One Great Work Network, among other platforms, but I'm very proud to be over here at onegreatworknetwork.com. There's over 70 content creators over at onegreatworknetwork.com, where we are trying to live up to the phrase, we are trying to end slavery one mind at a time. Come on over there and check out all the fine folks over there producing content much like this. And next, of course, I'm going to keep promoting Seed 5 Metamorphosis. It's a free online conference about the occult, esotericism, freedom, history, philosophy, symbolism, and natural law. It's going to be on September 23rd and the 24th of this year, 2023. Next, we're closing in on the end of enrollment for How to Become the True Media of 2023, hosted by Mark Passio of whatonearthishappening.com. How to Become the True Media is an intensive 23-week technology skill sharing seminar that's going to be every Monday, starting at 8 p.m., going to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be going on from July 10th to December 11th of this year. It will be hosted on the Telegram platform. Go over there and enroll at howtobecomthetruemedia.com. It's beginner and intermediate skill sets to be taught in this seminar. We'll be including operating system skills, file systems and disk formatting, file and folder management, workflow and best practices, word processing and publishing, internet and networking basics, searching the web and the dark web, graphic design, print publishing, building presentations, audio editing and publishing, video editing and publishing, live streaming, web publishing, internet sharing and collaboration, media hardware, and equipment. So go on over there. So toward the end of the night tonight, I want to take your calls. So I have this up on freeyourmindne.com/call. So I just want to go over this live on the air real quick. It's not that difficult. It's just a few criteria. There's just some guidelines to make sure that we're not wasting anybody's time here, yours included. Your time, I don't want to waste it. I don't want my time wasted. I don't want my guest time wasted. So number one, make sure you're using the proper type of browser. Firefox will not work. There's a couple of other browsers that don't work, but I recommend using a Chromium-based browser. Brave browser or Microsoft Edge, those are Chromium-based. Google Chrome, that's a Chromium-based browser. Chromium itself, these are the browsers that will work. So when you're joining what I'm calling the green room, you will be prompted to enter a name. I'm requesting that you use a real first name. It doesn't have to be your real first name. Just use a real name. Your name could be Rob. You could say your name is Tim. I don't care. But sophomoric handles will not be called on. So if you're, PP Grabber 2000, you're not getting your call answered. Number 3, make certain that you've granted the software access to the proper microphone. Using your camera is optional. Calls will be answered in the order in which the callers join the green room. There's limited space in the green room, so call in early, and calls will be answered toward the end of the broadcast after the general discussion is had, unless otherwise stated during the broadcast. But don't wait to call. You can watch the show from the green room as well. So that does it for the housekeeping. And so tonight we have a couple of very special guests and new friends of mine, and they're new friends to the show. So lately I've been talking about, last week we talked about animism, and this week we're going to be talking a little bit more about, living in nature, living off grid, and kind of experiencing that lifestyle. So I've brought in the fine folks over at LUVALUTION, Amy and John-Paul, and welcome to the show, Amy and John-Paul. I see you have the little man there as well. How are you guys tonight?
Hey, doing good. How are you, James?
Thanks for
There's a
having
very,
us.
very big delay.
We're honored to be here.
Yeah, thank you. But there's a huge delay in our audio, so I don't know how to remedy that at the moment.
Oh, we'll just be patient.
All right, well, you take it away. You tell us about your style, and I'll just hang back.
Yeah. So it kind of came about organically. We didn't want to pay our death pledge as a mortgage. We were roped into that American lie, and realized we wanted to get land to grow our own, to be less sufficient on, or excuse me, less dependent, yes, thank you, on the grocery stores. And we saw this, we read Brave New World, we read 94, we saw this nonsense coming. We knew we had to get some land to get to growing our own food. Not that we were into escaping, we always had that plan. We were going to raise our son and then get some land. So the off-gridding wasn't really, we didn't think about it really. We just, somebody every month, they make up a number and you got to pay electricity, and they change it every month, and the power goes off. Well, your bill doesn't go down. And then we had a smart meters in right close to his bedroom on our house, which I knew all about the Internet of Things and how that works. And yeah, it's all bad. And so we wouldn't want any part of it. And yeah, it kind of just started that way, looking for land. And we found probably the furthest point east in the United States we could be. And it's a magical place here close to Eastport, Maine, and Nova Scotia. So yeah, we didn't know anything about it, just went fully into the unknown, and we were going to teach ourselves as we went. And it was rough, to say the least. And we've been doing it for about 2.5 years now. Excuse me, a little less than 2.5. And yeah, what so much we've learned since then. But yeah, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, just 1 second.
Yeah. So the little guys. Anyway, go ahead, brother.
So tell me about some of those struggles that you guys went through. I'm sure the audience would, if they're interested in doing, maybe not going all the way like you guys did, but maybe, rolling back as much as they can. What could people expect to go through? I mean, you guys went through it already, so take it away on that one.
Yeah, it's
Tell me, we pooped in a bucket, or should we go that far?
No, well, yeah, we Sorry, what was the question? I
Examples of the hardships.
Oh yeah. Yes, so many. Wow. Well, first we had land. We didn't have any electricity, right, or septic set up. So we got the land. We were living in a hotel with our cats in the winter, and we had to get out of there. And we found this piece of land. Finally found it. Then we looked for a camper or a fifth wheel or some type of trailer, travel trailer or RV to just pull onto our property. And so just all these logistics, looking and everywhere and trying to. So we found one we had in Wells, Maine. We had to take it apart and then drag it 5 hours up to our new property with a friend. So I mean, the difficulties were great and many, and we went to having all the conveniences right in a nice little hotel room to then having really none. Uh, so that was a huge just
So we had, yeah, had, the bathroom, the water,
power.
the power, the water. We get all our water from a spring. We lug it here. We feed our whole garden with that water that here. We are dry dock, so we fill our tank with that water. John-Paul does most of that. And we take showers. We get a hot water heater, portable hot water heater that we put into our bathroom. And we have hot water in our shower, which is so nice. When we first got here, we were showering outside under a bag on nice days. So now we have hot water. The septic, we have a guy come and suck all the waste out. It's only $60 a month, and they come and they suck it all out and take it away. So that's a really tip for
Well,
people who are doing.
I was basically thing the septic, the water. Excuse me, and just we were such kooks. We first got here. We were pooping in a bucket. We didn't even know how our trailer bathroom worked, right? And I was lugging it, digging a hole, way down on our property. We have 2 acres where we are on the side of a mountain, and we're looking towards the east, and we see the mountains in Canada with the sunrises, and yeah, we're right on the 45th parallel. So it's an amazing spot. The tides are crazy. 26-foot swings from the tides, and just the Milky Way is of us.
This kind of lifestyle, you get more in tune with nature
Yeah,
because we're outside a lot. We live in a tiny home, so we're inside. So this kind of lifestyle, you get in touch with nature even more, which is really, really beautiful.
yes, and it fit our lifestyle as being minimalists. Um, yeah, moving is always a way to downsize, and so when we moved out of a house into a tiny house, we really downsized, and just that off-gridding and being self-sufficient. We don't like the concept of paying for something you can do yourself, and so that was always in our mind. We never got paid for snow plowing or any of that. We always did our own shoveling, tried to be as self-sufficient as we could in a home. However, there's so many expenses that are out of your control. So that's what we like, taking that into our own hands, figuring out our own power, and figuring out how to live and how we can do this here. And when we moved here, we chose the spring so we'd have a nice, easier transition with the summer and preparing for the winter.
The water from the spring is very, very clean. It's pure. There's thousands of gallons under the ground around here. It's the biggest spring in Maine, and it has very, very clean, fresh water.
Yes.
We have a filter too. It takes care of 5,000 contaminants. So we use a filter for our water and make sure everything's filtered.
Yes, we catch the rainwater, feed our food and medicine, and yeah, we try to be as self-sufficient. And all right, all this water talk got you thirsty, huh? So we're yeah, we're always learning, and it was rough. I had to attach so we have a 35-foot travel trailer with a 20-foot patio attached, that we built the floor and put all that together. And man, was it leaky when we first put it together. It was raining basically inside every time it rained, and tons of silicone and caulking and figuring out leaks and getting the mosquitoes, proofing the place for mosquitoes. And so lots of different things and
You
variables.
look all the wood here.
Oh yeah, the wood too. We just we put in a wood stove in the camper, which was a lifesaver. The wood stove, really, we couldn't do this at all.
Negative 30 degrees here for for a week or so.
Yeah, this winter's coldest night was negative 50 with the wind chill, and we were pretty warm because of a small space and a nice stove. And yeah, we don't have a fridge. We haven't had a fridge, and we have a bag. We're gonna dig a hole, I think, this summer and put a fridge in the ground, the old-fashioned way.
We eat very fresh. Every day we eat from the garden, so our food is really fresh. And we make bread every day. So we eat, very fresh food. Hmm.
That's very interesting. So I was actually very curious about what you guys did during the winter.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, our water pump froze. Our pipes freeze.
We got a new water pump.
But then, yeah, they unfreeze around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So I call it boot camp. It's always about, figuring it out, there's problems, and then we come up with solutions.
yes. And Amy, she's probably the toughest girl I know. Most girls would have not situation, ran for their lives, and she's been so brave and strong. And the little guy as well. So we just kind of, lots of nights are trying to figure our power out. We'd have flashlights, and our batteries would be dead. Sunlight. So we're learning to also back up solar power to get a wind charger, because we're on a high wind area, and we can utilize that wind while we sleep at night to charge our home up as well. So there's always upgrades and things to learn about troubleshooting with the power or whatever we're doing. But this is our third summer growing, and that has been great, growing our own food and medicine, and just being outside more. Having a tiny house kind of forces you out into nature, into the peacefulness and the stillness, where we can teach our son and kind of raise our son how we wished we were raised.
Yeah.
Speaking of
and
sons, anyone just listening to this, they have their son with them. So he's a very young man. He's probably around 6, maybe 5 years old, and he's doing what 6 and 5-year-olds do. So if you hear background noise, too bad. Put up with it. we have a question in the chat, and I'll bring it up on screen. I don't know how to pronounce this, but some random assortment of letters wants to know, how do you get your medicine? Where would you go if you got pregnant? And is it clean enough to do a home birth?
Yep, New Earth home birth. Yep.
Yeah, medicine comes from the earth too. So yeah, it's all grown, and
It's very clean. The clean here, it says, is it clean enough to have a home birth?
clean
Yes.
enough to have
Yep.
a home birth, of course.
Yep, very clean.
How much?
And what we
how much? What was?
What was James saying?
Oh, go ahead, brother.
How much land do you guys use for your farm?
Oh, very little. Yeah, we have 2 acres, and we use I don't even know the footage, but we basically, there was piles of dirt here. There was 5 piles of dirt, and dirt is basically nutrientless soil, if anyone wants to know that. So we just pushed over the dirt piles and started planting seeds, basically, and throwing in, adding nutrients, adding seaweed, adding compost, the soil healthy. So very little is needed to grow food. I mean, you could grow by a little box and grow so much food for a single family. So we don't have like huge farm where we're growing and selling it to people. We just grow it for ourselves.
We can everything. So
Yeah.
we had enough food for our last couple winters. We had plenty of food. So we're learning as we go, you know. We've never gardened in our lives, so we started this. So it's we're just learning as we go, really.
Yeah, but it's very rewarding to go out in the garden, just grab a bowl and some scissors and cut a salad, and then the freshness, and you can just taste all the nutrients, the vitamins. There's no middleman. There's no like long wait from when it's harvested to when it's in your body. So that part I really recommend everyone try and enjoy.
So let's talk about LUVALUTION.
Yeah, brother, LUVALUTIon.
Tell me all about it.
So LUVALUTIon is that personal journey, right, towards that higher levels of consciousness, self-love, like, and in short, know thyself, to love thyself, to love others. Okay, we all have been taught to love outside of ourselves, love everything, right? Love things, we love people and use things, and don't care really much for things, but their function and all that. Not really the fashion part. So the LUVALUTIon is that personal journey we take to wake ourselves up or pull our rear ends out of our heads out of rear ends, and then that collective LUVALUTIon could change this world overnight if we all loved ourselves and truly, instead of whereas in that self-loathing, in that the suffering, the self-inflicted suffering, right? The ignorance, the apathy, the laziness, and the cowardice. That is not what LUVALUTIon is. LUVALUTIon is speaking out, not giving a shit what anyone thinks, and speaking the truth, knowing natural laws, sharing the objective morality, because once you know, you have that moral obligation. But yeah, it's that journey, that personal journey of higher conscious levels. We have a superfood out too. We like health and try to teach people how to love themselves to health. Okay, your cells all respond to dialogue. If you love yourself, your cells are going to be happy, you're going to be healthy, you're going to feel great. If you hate yourself, your cells are going to deteriorate, they're going to manifest disease, illness, sickness, and you're going to suffer. So it's that love frequency we all were born at, and the programs are on us, and we have to deprogram ourselves.
Undomesticate ourselves.
Help to love ourselves, because we can't give what we don't have. Okay, we all say we love this, we love that, but we don't love ourselves, so we really can't love anything else. A lot of us. So that's the LUVALUTION, that's self-love, and choosing love over fear, right? Truth over the lies.
And we all have fear. Loving yourself, forgiving yourself, being honest with yourself, treating others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
You're here. So I just had it was on the tip of my tongue. I apologize. But
Oh, not at all.
how long ago did you start LUVALUTION?
So that was a brainchild of mine. In 2011, I had my personal LUVALUTION, and I was in California. I was working on a farm and working in nature, and my heart chakra just blew open, and I was, wow, what am I going through? This is amazing. It's an evolution. It's of love. It's a LUVALUTION. And I said, wow, that's it, what I'm going through. I need to share this with everyone.
Instead of chasing things outward, it's all inward.
Yeah, where
everything's in there.
Yes. And quieting my ego. But then in 2019, we started doing video, and the product came out in 2020 into the our superfood health product.
Get my bottle here.
And we wanted to stop working for others, so we wanted to create an online business and help for with their health. And this is some bottles. We're gonna send you some bottles, Jay.
Yep. Thank you for having us, James.
Yeah.
And your kids can take too. Sebastian did in his smoothies. It's got 102 vitamins and minerals. Taking it for 3 years. Our hair, skin, nails, everything is so smooth, soft. It works from the inside out.
Yes.
Gives you all the nutrients your body needs.
And it's Dr. Sebi inspired. If you know him.
Oh, nice.
He's an incredible true speaker, and they jailed him and basically persecuted him for speaking out against all the atrocities of big pharma. And he said, if nature didn't make it, don't take it. And he created this blend, alkaline super cell repair blend, basically. And we thought it was amazing. So a private label had it made and put it on Amazon for a little while. We couldn't do business with that evil empire, so we got off of there and chose the moral high road. We were selling a lot of bottles and getting great reviews, but it didn't feel right to have them as a middleman.
Yeah, unfortunately, like Amazon is tricky like that, because when it comes to books, Amazon will sell books that other stores won't. But I can agree with you about them being a part of the Amazon A Mason, you know? They're
Wow, yes.
they're a CIA cutout, you know? But like
No, totally.
but yeah, so 102 And 102 vitamins and minerals, huh? I got
Yeah, so there's 3 ingredients. We have Irish sea moss, which is a seaweed, bladderwrack, which is another seaweed, and burdock root. So Irish sea
ooh,
moss and bladderwrack have 92 vitamins and minerals, and the burdock root adds 10 more. So it's a full spectrum of vitamins and minerals. Dr. Sebi's formula. And he studied and researched this formula for many, many years and had a lot of success with it.
Yeah, it's knock the rust off from the inside out, right? Health starts within, right? They know that. That's why they try to jab us. So we put these amazing superfoods in our bodies to build up that immune system, fortify it.
We
So,
haven't been sick in years.
yeah, he's never been sick,
Never had an earache.
and so the people haven't, and we enjoy helping promote health and wellness as opposed to some piece of plastic product that's just selling on Amazon.
yeah. It's funny how the kids that avoid the doctor's office are the ones that don't get sick. It's weird.
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
no customer.
Yeah, my wife and I have been going experiencing that kind of that kind of, I don't know, thing where our children don't get sick, and we don't go to the doctors, like, it's just
Same.
why take your kid to the doctor
Yeah,
if they're
they're
not sick?
definitely linked. Exactly. Absolutely. Good.
But,
Because they got,
I had another
yeah,
question.
fear. They have us going to those doctors. Oh, yeah.
No, take it away. Yeah, the fear of being sick all the time, like, that's how they just pulled
Yes, the
off this whole.
fear. Yeah.
Yeah, the pandemic was all about the fear of being sick. Ooh,
Yes. Absolutely.
but how did you guys fare
When
through that?
viruses aren't even spread. Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, we actually transitioned to this lifestyle during that. Um, Now we had our whole plan when this all hit, and we've been speaking out against vaccines and jabs long before that. Because when he was born, we just were telling people all about it and saying they're coming for us too. Adults are gonna have to make the choice, and it was very disturbing. It was really disturbing to wake up and but like a bad dream. However, we're less affected being out in the country. Um, but it was
Yeah, we
just,
tried not grocery stores, as much as possible. Because I wouldn't wear a mask. We wouldn't wear masks.
no,
Sebastian's never put one on.
no,
Um, so that was challenging,
it
but
was,
we worked around it.
yeah. But it was, yeah, it was a trying time. It was good to speak out because we could all just now, it was all in our face and on our face, literally. The fear was just, everyone was just wearing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm getting an incredible
And
amount
our
of feedback.
yeah, our families weren't happy with our choices, and we stayed strong no matter what because we know the truth. And so when you do your research and you know the truth, you have the confidence because you know you're doing the right thing. And we've just stayed focused.
Yes. And we saying no and not caring what others think of us, um, or especially our families, because having that knowledge gives you the confidence, like she said, to really, yeah, put a kibosh on all the ancestral patterns I was raised with, and all the competitive schools, churches, coaches, teachers, parents, and that whole competitive world that I was raised in. I didn't want that for our son, and I knew that it wasn't it was all wrong, really.
I was going to ask you about your interactions with your families and how they responded to you guys going out into the country. And I wanted to ask you too, why Maine? Why was there something specific about Maine, or like you said earlier? I mean, you kind of stated earlier that you just went as far east as you could, but I'm wondering why Maine? Because there are plenty of other states where doing what you guys do would be a whole hell of a lot easier. So, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
why did
we met in Maine. She's from Maine. I'm from Connecticut. I grew up. I was in Cali 10 years, but Maine's beautiful here. We love the season. It has everything, the ocean, the mountains, the lakes, the plains, and
It was pretty spontaneous too. We saw the post on Zillow and we fell in love with the view. We said, "Oh wow, it'd be really cool to live on the side of a mountain." And we just followed interest and checked it out. Sebastian didn't want to leave the land, and he cried. He didn't want to leave, and it just felt right.
yeah.
So we said, "Yeah, let's do it." Any water yet or anything here, but we could figure it out. So it's pretty spontaneous.
Yeah, but we enjoy Maine, and the weather does. We embrace the winter. We love snowshoeing, snowboarding, sledding, all that fun stuff. So
we were so hot last winter. It was like Miami Beach. We're all in our bathing suits pretty much in here.
yeah,
Believe it or not, it was so hot.
and
Toasty.
yeah, in our old house, we could never heat it. It was 3 stories, and we'd always have a wood stove cranking. We could never get it warm. We'd always have hats and gloves on in there, and just like the biggest hoax. And then we tried to get a propane heater, a monitor, and that was $300 every couple weeks. And we just said, this is a biggest racket, winter in Maine. If you're gonna pay a propane guy, it's just ridiculous. And
we were filling the propane every 3 weeks to filling it here every 10 months. So if you can imagine how much less that costs.
Oh yeah, I can definitely get what you guys are saying on that. It's not fun having oil or propane being a source of heat during the winter.
yeah,
I live in a house that was built almost 200 years ago, so it leaks like a sieve,
wow,
and it's very expensive, you know.
yeah.
But I
And
wanted
so
to
yeah,
ask you, I don't mean to
oh
pry,
yeah,
but your families. You mentioned something about them. I wanted to hear more about the way that they reacted to this, because I imagine that it was probably
yeah,
really trying to get through to them that you guys would be okay.
yeah,
My mom said she was worried about us, didn't sleep. I said, "Mom, we're doing it. We're taking care of ourselves. We're not on like drugs, like just slacking off, not taking care of And so I just had to reassure them. My dad came up and helped us put in our wood stove to make sure it was safe. He wanted to be part of that. And they said they couldn't live like this, no way. But, they're.
yeah. The wood stove was a game changer for us, really. Without that, we wouldn't be doing this. And that just goes to having all the free heat now. We can go harvest wood on our land, all the dead wood around, collect it, and, you know, chop it up. And we have a wood stove about the size, a little bigger than like a shoebox, but so like sticks will heat this place up for an hour or so, you know. You just grab a bunch of sticks, and man, it feels when that than going writing a check out.
But they were most nervous about us not going to the doctors, saying no to the institutions, the schools. They were very, very nervous about that kind of stuff. And we just explained to them, do you know when the schools were made, why the schools are here, what their purpose is, and they don't know any of that. So it was us informing them of what the choices we make and letting them know, you raised us, me, raising my son the way I see best fit. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and my family, I don't really talk to a lot of my family, so I don't think of what we're doing. So I talked to my mom, brother or two, but yeah, they think we're nuts. But you know, we think they're nuts for domesticating themselves, so where they know what to do when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah, well, these people, they have, like you said, Amy, they have no clue about these institutions, the way that they were founded. They just go along with it. They just do it because they're told, and it's that type of mentality that those types of actions that really keep leading us down this path to utter destruction. And people like you guys and myself and my wife and our little family, you know, there's plenty of other people that I can think of off the top of my head whose actions are doing things that are making things better, you know, making it harder for them, the big them, to have all the control that they want to have. And these older generations, shame on you because you've had just as much opportunity to learn all of this stuff as anyone else, and the fact that you still haven't is just it's a disgrace. So, I have very little
I think
respect.
the same way.
Yeah, I have very little respect for some of the people that make up the population of the older generations because of not only the way that they've been acting the last couple of years, but even before then, you know, it's just absolutely just terrible. And it's terrifying to think that a big, you know, a big scary thing that's like not even really real, you know, that could really change so many people so quickly and turn so many people against the young, you know? There's never been a time in human history where the older generations were put before the younger generations. They've all like, it's always been the older generations that have stepped up to the plate and said, "We'll take the heat for the younger generations." And then this time around, it's like everyone's gonna kill grandma. Like, no one's killing grandma. The pharmaceuticals are killing grandma. I'm not doing it. But
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, they just let us right into this slave system. Those baby boomers that were all into peace and love in the 60s, they got their heads really far up their arses, and now, yeah, that whole generation were raised right with the television, so fixed beliefs. They're some of the most hardened people, like you said.
yeah, it's dumbfounding to me that they would turn coat so bad.
Yeah.
But, let's work toward wrapping it up here. I know that we were planning to do a short one this evening, and we can, I don't know, maybe try to take some calls if you guys are up for it.
Yeah, we're
Invite
coming
people
in
to.
clear.
That would be great.
All right, so, we got a few more minutes here. If anybody wants to call in, go to freeyourmindne.com/call, and we'll bring you in, and you can ask a question or you can have your comments, whatever. And if not, then we'll just continue talking for a few minutes, and we'll call it a night at the hour mark.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
So what do you guys, so you guys, obviously you're doing homeschooling and everything like that, right?
Mhm.
Did I lose you? Was I on mute?
No, you're here. Oh, we're listening.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just curious about like your process with homeschooling. What kind of approach do you guys take to that?
Yeah, we do the radical unschooling, or just not really. It's self-interested learning, we call it, with what he wants to learn and when he wants to learn it. We try to steer away forced learning, because no one learns forced.
We tried that too. I tried it. I'd be like, "Okay, buddy, are you ready to learn your letters?" And I'd sit him down, and it just wouldn't work that way for us anyway. So when he's really excited about reading, like the stop sign, we read the letters, what it says. He's learning numbers with the game Go Fish, and money. He counts his money in his money bank, his piggy bank. So that's how. Yeah. So learning, it just comes up naturally. And the other night at 9:30 at night, he wanted to learn his letters. He really excited about it. So we just wrote out these words, and he was excited, having so much fun. And yeah, he's to read and write, and he's really, really smart, and it's very natural.
Yeah,
So
they're all geniuses, and we just, if we allow that and facilitate that, they'll blossom like that, the beautiful flowers. Right, that forced learning never goes well with anyone. Who like to be forced to learn anything, right?
That's right.
He's learning carpentry. He's learning how to put wood in the wood stove, right? So he does.
So yeah, life skills in the garden. He's a huge help.
Yeah, big in the garden.
And how to grow things, how to basically get the soil healthy with microbes and get life into the soil. So we constantly we love to learn, Amy and I, and we're so curious. We wake up, we want to know more. We want to know more truth. We want, that motivates us every morning, and when we get up. And so
he's learning arc.
And that
the arc is his education.
Yeah, we
too.
got the arc from Mark Passio. Thank you, Mark. And that's basically exactly his education. And we just watch the coolest movies about all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, every night if we want. We watched today Elephant, right, about 9/11 being an inside job. It's a great movie.
Yeah, great one. And
that's awesome.
Wow. Yeah, he's heard more David Icke, more Passio. He's heard almost all of Passio's presentations, gone into his subconscious. So that's gonna help him down the line.
He knows more truth than some people in their 90s that we meet. So age does not mean much.
Yeah, we didn't want to give him the MIST program, the indoctrination we were raised with. Yeah.
We have a call. We have a call. Let's bring him in.
Oh boy.
We have Derek Bartolini. Am I pronouncing?
Bonjour.
Oui, salut les gars. Bonjour, bonjour.
Thank you, Derek, for calling in. You're live on the Guide to Truth. What's on your mind this evening, Derek?
Yeah, James, just listening. I tuned in like 15, 20 minutes ago. I was about to turn in. It's like about 4 o'clock in the morning. But hey, man, when you really care about that truth, you live a non-linear lifestyle. And I had a really great taste of how you guys are living. Literally, when I was out in a region in France called Brittany, just like 2 weeks ago, pretty much. And staying with some really great friends, one of my best friends in France, and him and his wife, they bought like 2 acres, and they've been revamping the whole thing. They got like a 3-stage house, but it's, flat. And like every 50 years, this older family, like, all right, new little box house, next to the other one. And they were raising cows. They had like apple orchards, and they had like a whole apple cider, like, factory, kind of like a mini thing attached to the house. It's just like really incredible going back to these ancient,
Oh, that sounds
ways of
awesome.
life. In a sense, it's not that ancient, right? Like, why do we kind of like, I gotta catch myself saying that shit sometimes, right? We gotta bring back that le renaissance, whatever, renaissance, man, like Justin Wagman and folks like that. And yeah, like you were saying, Jean-Paul and Amy, like waking up every day, hey, we're so inspired, there's so much shit to do. And being on land, like being able to work with the earth and all the elements around you, and just have to bear, grin and bear it during certain seasons, but you're gonna be, reaping what you sow, which is so many beautiful seeds in so many ways. And it's really great. And you see the fruits of your labor, like literally. And my friends, they got a fucking like a greenhouse thing. I was helping them weed out stuff, and like everywhere I go and like hanging around, you guys saw me traveling around the States and stuff, hanging with folks in like Oregon. I'm like, gardening with my friends and all this stuff. It's just great life experience. And for me, it never gets tiring. It never gets boring. I call it like, and I don't like to call it work, but it's like that life work, And like every day you're going to be on something, because you are the master of your domain in a sense. And that's an extension of being the master builder of your own temple within your soul, yo. So let's get with that.
Nice.
Sorry.
Well
It's
said,
great to see
brother.
y'all, by the way.
You too,
Yes,
brother.
We love
Awesome.
you.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
motion to
Yeah, it's
you
great to
out
see you
there
guys
in front.
connect and all that stuff. I love seeing this shit.
They're on a delay, by
Nice,
the way,
man.
Derek. So
Damn it. I got crappy internet here. I'm sorry, guys. I hope that came through
Wow.
okay.
Well,
yeah, it all came through loud and clear.
mind-boggling. We're all connected. Yeah.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
So
And
anything-
it's great to see you guys getting more podcasts in. You guys had Will Keller on recently. That was cool. James,
Yeah,
we
Dan
might be due
Arnold
for a little
came to visit.
conversation ourselves, possibly, but we'll see about that on other topics. But yeah, I'm sure you guys might have mentioned there's a conference coming up, as well as another one in a couple months that James is going to be a part of with the Seed. Yes, indeed. And then there's the Trivium next weekend on the 24th, 25th, all that jazz. Sorry to plug in that shit. It's for like a lot of cats are going to be up in there, and it's a lot of anticipation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be there.
Talking about anything that I
We'll
Yeah,
be
missed?
we'll check.
watching.
We'll check.
Yeah. Right.
well, all right, Derek. Thank you for calling in, man.
Yeah, for sure, y'all. Have
All
a
right,
wonderful
well,
evening. I might have to go
you
to
too.
sleep because I got work in
LUVALUTION.
like 5 hours. C'est la vie, mon ami.
All right.
Yes, much
Up to
LUVALUTION.
fella.
Hitchhiking on the way to truth, yo.
Much
Fuck yeah.
LUVALUTION.
All right, Derek. Peace, man. Have a
Au
good
revoir.
time over there in France.
Love you.
So thank you, Derek, for calling in. Always nice to hear from Derek Bartoluccelli. But yeah, I mean, that I guess we'll close out, and I don't think anyone else is going to call in unless they do. They have only a couple of minutes left to do so, but that's okay. We did an hour. It's good. You guys got to get the little man to bed
What a
anyways, right?
pleasure, James.
Thank you so much for having us
I
on.
mean, we're down to chat a little more, brother, but it's been a pleasure. And yeah, Great time. Well, you're welcome to come out here, brother, whenever you'd like to bring the family on a mini vacay, whatever you want. Just discover this area. We'd love to
That would be
have
awesome.
you.
Another truth family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
the little guy, him and Jameson would love to play, I'm sure.
Oh, I bet they'd have a blast. I bet they would.
Yeah. Yeah. There he is.
All right, guys. Well, we'll sign off here. And thank you for coming on, and we'll talk again real soon, okay?
Great.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
us.
for having us, James.
Appreciate you.
Much LUVALUTION, brother.
Thank you
We
for
love
all you do.
Thanks for all your great work.
You do a lot.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Have a good night. Peace.
You too.
Much love.
So that was Amy and John-Paul. Go to their website. I forgot to ask them to do it, but it's LUVALUTION.net. It's in the description for this evening. And you can find them on Facebook as well. So with that being said, we're just going to have a short outro here. I will not be on the air next week. I'm going to the Porcupine Freedom Fest up in the White Mountains up here in New Hampshire. So there. The week after that, July 1st, we will be back on the air for another Black Pill Digest, Sean McCann and I, and we're going to have fun with that. So if anyone would like to help out, you can go to freeyourmindne.com/donate. And you can find all the different ways that you can help support this show, help it keep going and growing. More importantly, the most effective and best and most accessible way for you to help this show keep going and growing is simply by just giving it a like, subscribing to like a YouTube channel or the Odyssey channel, and by sharing it with more people. Share this show with your friends. Go back into the back catalog of the show and, find some information that you'd like to share out there. That is the best way to help. So any of those options, I really appreciate it. And you have no idea how much it would help. But regardless, I will keep doing this because that's what's most important, is getting the information out there. But that being said, I'm going to tell you all one last thing. I love you all. And it's through conversations with people that I find it best to explore topics and to really get down to the bottom of how we can really do different things, take action, and make a difference. So think to yourself, think to yourself, how can you make a difference? How can you act more morally? How can you be a better version of you? We have every day as an opportunity to do better, to do more good deeds, and to really, stand up and say no to those who would want to see us suffer. And with that, I'll leave you. I love you all. Have a great night, and I'll see you in a few weeks. Peace.